record this. Yeah, Shashank, so what do you remember from last week?
So last week you taught us basically what Bhagavad Gita means, which is the song of God, because it's comprised of three different words.
Yeah,
Bhagavad plus Gita. So Bhag is Bhagwan, someone who has a lot of opulence, and Vad is the speech or the song, and Gita is of course sorry, Gita is the song,
that is the
and
song.
Bhagavad is whatever is spoken by God or Bhagwan, who has a lot of opulence.
Yeah,
And then the other thing that I took for sure is yoga, which is almost like everybody says, but it's more of like a union of the self or the soul with with God
yeah,
or Krishna as well.
yeah.
So
Perfect.
going back to Krishna, and like kind of like he's anxious for us to come back, and he tells us in all the 700 slokas in 18 chapters what are the ways to come back to him.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. So you can give the class next time.
No, yeah, just being
Very
kind.
good.
Thank you.
You summarized it very well. Yeah, very good. So you remember anything from last week's discussion? Samit, you are very attentive last week. Can you tell me something from last week? Yeah, now everyone can turn on the video, please. Pavan, Harshani, Suhani, Shravani. Yeah, you all please. Shashank, everyone please turn on your videos. Yeah, you look like a completely different person, Shashank.
Is it? Yeah, maybe because I grew some here and cut some from here, the hairs.
Are you in Hawaii?
And now that's just the background effect.
Okay. Samit? Okay. I'm trying to save your parents. Yeah. Mahi, you remember anything? How to lead our life. Perfect. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita is a life manual. So Mahi is saying Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to lead our life. So in our life, every day we are bombarded with so much of confusion. So should I do this or not? Should I take up this job or that job? Should I live in India or America? Should I wear a white color shirt or blue color shirt? Should I send my kids to this school or that school? Should I marry this person or that person? Should I eat this food or that food? Should I buy this car or that car? So many confusions. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to make correct choices. Our life is full of choices, especially in this country. Even if you want to buy a small pencil, there are 1,000 varieties. You're so confused. Whereas in India, it's very, very simple, right? Life in India is very simple. I remember from my childhood days, there was Nataraj pencil or Camlin pencil. H1, HB, yeah. Only two brands. It was very simple. Life was very simple. But here they have lead, mechanical pencil. Yeah. Chemical-free pencil. So many things. Somebody can do a research, what is the best pencil to use. So like that, life is full of choices. When there are a lot of choices, it is very easy to make mistakes. And most of the times, we make mistakes. That's one of the 4 defects that human beings have. Remember, we discussed in DYS days, human beings have 4 defects. One is, we make mistakes. We cheat people, cheating propensity. Yeah, hi Vasu. Cheating propensity. And then our senses are imperfect. 4th one. 4 defects. we make mistakes, cheating propensity, we cheat people, and our senses are imperfect. And then what's the fourth one? Forgetfulness. Very good. Yeah. See, we all forgot. That's a good way to remember now, right? Next time you'll not forget this. Forgetfulness, especially in this age of Kali, the memory is short-lived. So what you eat now, you may not remember, by the evening. So because of these 4 defects, we make mistakes, especially the defect, the first defect that I mentioned, right? Human beings tend to make mistakes. They say, right, to err is human. To err is human, but it's not an occasional error or occasional mistake, right? We make mistakes in every walk of our life. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to make correct choices. It helps us discriminate between good and bad. So that's the intelligence. Intelligence means the power to discriminate between good and bad.
Prabhuji, can you repeat the one? Sorry, the forgetfulness I caught. I think I lost in between one because of that. There was some delay and I lost your voice.
So the 4 defects. Are: one is we
Making mistakes, cheating propensities, forgetfulness, and what's the last one?
Imperfect senses.
Imperfect senses. Thank you.
Imperfect senses. Imperfect senses means all the 5 senses, the Panchendriya, they have limited ability. They have limited ability to see things. They have limited ability to hear things. They have limited ability to perceive things. Okay, just one second.
Thank you.
Settling down here. My friends are community level. Okay, yeah. Come, please sit here. Yeah. Hi, what's your name? Datri. Okay, your name? Huh? Tarunya. Okay. Yeah. So let me show everyone, the in-person people. We have huge gathering now. So we have Kalpana, the host. Her husband is busy, making food for all of us. Yeah. We have Monica and family. Is her husband, son. Yeah, very good. What's your name? Bharati. Okay. We have Bharati who joined today. We have Basu. Yeah. Hare Krishna. You come next. What's your name? Kumar. Kumar. Okay. We have Kumar. And then Bharati's 2 daughters, Datri and Tarunya. Let's see them. Yeah. వాళ్ళ అబ్బాయికి క్లాస్ ఉందంటది తెలుగు ఎగ్జామ్ ఉంది వాళ్ళది మిడ్-టర్మ్ ఎగ్జామ్. Yeah. Next week వస్తారు. Next week. Yeah. And in the back we have Mahi, Varsha, Aman, Sudhakar, and his son Samet, Sudhakar's wife Jyoti. And here is the most important person, Mohan, Kalpana's husband. Yeah, the host, Kalpana and Mohan. Thank you everyone for hosting this program here, without which we couldn't have done this. Thank you. A round of applause to them. Hey, Pavan. Yeah, we are missing you here.
Hello. Yeah. I was helping the kid basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're writing the exam?
Yeah, he's writing the exam. Yeah.
No, you are writing the exam?
No. I'm just making him prepare, taking all the printouts and giving him all the papers so that he can start writing the exam. So.
Okay. Okay. So Ashish, yeah, mistakes. We tend to make mistakes. Cheating propensity, forgetfulness, imperfect senses. Imperfect senses. Our senses are imperfect. So fourth one. Yeah, four defects. Yeah.
Second one,
No, I'll repeat. Yeah, order can be varying.
Because we forget orders when we.
See, this is an example for imperfect senses. This is an example how our senses are imperfect. Monica exhibited forgetfulness with an example, and Kalpana is exhibiting this with an example of imperfect senses. You hear something, but you interpret in a different way. Yeah. Okay, Ashish Goyal came up with some abbreviation. FMIC. Okay, we can.
Forgetfulness, make mistake,
Imperfect senses.
and
Cheating propensity.
cheating propensity.
Yeah, cheating propensity. Yes. Okay. So yeah, because of this tendency to make mistakes, it is very easy to make mistakes when we are presented with too many choices. So Bhagavad Gita is a book which helps us sharpen our intelligence so that we can discriminate between good and bad. And then we make right choices in our life. Okay. So what else? Anything else from previous discussion? Pawan, you want to add anything? Okay. So Kumar, have you read Bhagavad Gita? Any experience? Okay. Yeah. Bharti? Okay. Sure. So Pawan, do you remember anything from last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little bit. So basically, what is Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah.
That's a manual and a love dictionary and a spiritual guide, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a spiritual book. Yeah.
Spiritual book.
Yeah.
It's not meant for one religion, it's meant for everything, basically. For everybody, every human existence, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, very good. So it's not only for Hindus or, it's not only for Indians, it's for everyone. These religions like Hindu, Christian, Islam, these are all man-made religions. Okay, these are all artificial religions, just like the different castes, right? How they are man-made. Similarly, the religions are also man-made. They are not real. In fact, there is no such thing called as Hindu. So the people from Pakistan, they could not pronounce the name of the river Sindhu. Instead of Sindhu, they used to call Hindu. And that's how it started as a religion, Hindu religion. Basically, religion is a way of life. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. So tomorrow you can start your own religion by defining a new lifestyle. And after 100 years, people will call that as a big religion, just like how we are calling Hindu, Islam, Christian as a big religion now. If you create something today, after 100 years, people will take it up as a big religion. So these are all man-made religions. So they will not last longer. Okay. But what is our eternal religion is Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma. That's why in some temples, you see the name itself is Sanatana Hindu temple. I remember when I was living in Bay Area, there was a temple. The temple name itself is Sanatana. They also add Hindu there. Sanatana Hindu temple. Yeah. So this is a true religion. Sanatana Dharma is the true religion. So Bhagavad Gita teaches this Sanatana Dharma. So what exactly is Sanatana Dharma? In simple words, eternal religion. Okay. Sanatana is eternal. Dharma is religion. So what exactly is this eternal religion?
teaches us eternal occupation duty.
Eternal occupational duty. So what is our eternal occupational duty?
Serving God.
Serving God. Yeah, very good. So our eternal occupational duty is serving God as a servant. God is a master and we are all servants. So in the spiritual world, that was our eternal duty. But we forgot that and we came to the material world and we are serving someone else now. So a person may serve his wife, or a wife may serve the husband, or the wife and husband together, they will serve children, or you may serve a dog or cat, or you may serve your boss at work, and the boss will serve the vice president. Even the president of the country, he's serving the nation. He's serving the nation. So everybody in this material world is serving someone or the other. But these are all bodily duties, bodily occupations or bodily duties. And these are all temporary. In this life, you will serve your husband, but in the next life, you may serve someone else. But our eternal occupational duty is serving God. So we have forgotten that. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to revive that relationship with God, how to revive the dormant love in our heart. Okay. And I think last week we ended the discussion with some homework, right? Did anyone do the homework? What was the homework, first of all?
Life miseries.
Life problems, right? Common principle.
Exactly.
What is that?
Do you think that mind creates a problem or
Yeah, some of the problems that the mind creates.
Most important, right?
Yeah,
For first four.
yeah. So most important is to remember the question.
మా కొమ్ములు వచ్చే డివైస్
You're all graduates now. You're all graduates. Yeah. Okay. So who can tell some points? What are the problems? Since you told the question correctly, why don't you start? Answer.
overthinking? For me, it's overthinking. Sometimes there will not be there, but my mind will start creating that it's going to happen, especially negativity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overthinking, negativity. Yeah.
Stress,
Anxiety. Yeah, very good. Especially during this layoff time, tech layoff, right? Everyone is under anxiety. Yeah.
కామన్ ప్రాబ్లం
Yeah. Okay. So negativity, overthinking, anxiety, stress, Huh? comparing with others. Okay. Basu?
Sometimes it takes you over. It's like, okay, I am body, I am soul, and then this thing called mind, it
Yeah.
takes everything over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to focus on one thing. The mind wanders. It's very hard to.
Restless mind, right?
Restlessness.
Restlessness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Monkey, mind is compared to
Yeah.
monkey.
Yeah.
Mind is compared to monkey.
Yeah.
Chanchalam. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, there is a shloka. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramadhi balavadrudam tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. Arjuna says, Krishna, this mind is very chanchal. Chanchal means just like children, right? They don't sit in one place. Now we can see an example. So they don't sit in one place. They are all over the place and running around, especially boys. They're running around and, she's sitting quietly. Girls, boys have a lot of energy. They need to spend that energy. So they are chanchal. Just like how children are chanchal, our mind is also very chanchal, very unstable. So the research shows that every second we get, it's not a second. Every day we get 18,000 to 32,000 thoughts in our mind. 18 to 32,000 thoughts in a day. different thoughts. Now, same thoughts can be repeated, right? Okay. You might have a thought to eat gulab jamun. Now you will have that repeated, several times during the day. But the number of different thoughts a person can have in their mind is 18,000 to 32,000. So, because whatever we see with our eyes, the mind takes as a snapshot and stores in the repository. So this mind is a repository of so many things that we see every day, that we do every day, and that we perceive so many things every day. Yeah. So Chanchal, as he said, mind is compared to monkey. So what else? So we have four different points now: negativity, overthinking, anxiety, unstable mind.
Desire.
Ego.
Desire.
1 second, Pawan.
Desire.
Desire. Yeah. So many desires. Yeah. So many desires. Yeah.
Unlimited.
So many desires. Yeah. Unlimited desires. And that's the exact word Krishna uses in Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 16. Yeah. Pawan, you are saying something?
Ego.
Ego.
Yeah.
Actually, ego is a different component. Our body, not the body, the human being. If you look at the components of a human being or human life, as such, there are 5 different components. One is body, mind, soul, and ego. Body, mind, soul, and ego. Okay. So ego is actually false ego. False ego means it's a false identity. I'm an Indian, I'm an American, I'm male, I'm female, I'm Telugu, I'm Tamil. These are all our bodily identities, which is the false identification. So that's called false ego. Okay. So that's a different component. Just like mind is a component of human life. So ego is a different component. So it's above mind, actually.
Okay.
If you look at the hierarchy, it starts with body, mind, ego, and soul.
Okay.
Soul being at the topmost.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Any other points? Mind problems that the mind creates. Mohan, you want to add anything?
I think someone said desires. I think that's the biggest.
Desires. Yeah.
I think that causes all.
Yeah. Sorrowness. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Desires. So now let's talk about desires, right? Unlimited desires. So in our first session of DYS, Search for Happiness, we discussed how. Hi, Gitu. Mana? Good. So in our first session, Search for Happiness, we discussed how everyone is trying to become happy in life. Whatever we do in life, the motive is to become happy. We all study, we all work, we get married, we have children, we go on vacations, we buy so many things, and we eat good foodstuffs. Everything is to become happy. The ulterior motive is to become happy. But we are not happy. Despite all the technological advancement and despite all the sophistication in the material world, we are not happy. And we discussed, why we are not happy. But every time, if we analyze, right, every time we are not happy, our tendency is to think that if I achieve that one thing, I'll become happy. How many of you have that experience? Every time you are unhappy, your mind thinks that, okay, at least that one thing, if I achieve that one thing, or if I said that one thing right, okay, my wife is not cooperating with me. If I said that thing right, I'll become happy. Or my children are not listening to me. If I said that thing right, then my life will be successful and happy.
is never end. Once you
It
achieve
never ends, right?
Yeah, you can add one more, right?
It never ends. And this list we have seen right from childhood. We have seen in childhood we were controlled by our parents. Then we used to think, okay, so if I become teenager and go to college and go to some boarding school, okay, I'll be independent. I'll be happy. I don't have to be controlled by my parents. I can do anything that I want. So Datri and Gitu. Is that true? Or Samet? Is that true? No, Samet is an exception. He's a very good boy. He's a very exception. He's like an adult, and he's beyond all these problems. He's a sadhu.
వాళ్ళ నాన్నలాగా మెడిటేషన్ లో ఉంటాడు ఎప్పుడు.
He's sadhu. And then after we went to college, then the new set of problems, right? New set of problems, and we used to think, okay, maybe after I pass out of this college, when I get job, when I start earning money, then I'll be happy. And then when you start working, then new set of problems. Problems from colleagues, problem from manager, layoffs. Very good. Very good. That's the hot topic. So, and then we'll think, okay, let me get married. Then I'll be happy. Then the whole life changes.
100% true.
Then the life takes a 360 degrees turn.
360, you come back to the same.
No, 180. 180 degrees. 180 degrees. 180 degrees turn. So that's the goal, right? To go back to 360 degrees. And then after that, okay, maybe if I have children, then I'll be happy. And then when you have children, new set of problems, new challenges, right? How can I raise my children nicely so that they can become good citizens, and they can sing shlokas, all those things. And then so it's never ending. Okay, so there is a small story with regards to this topic of unlimited desires, right? So once there was a king. He was not, even though he was king, very powerful, he has all the richness and everything, he was not happy. And one day, while he was walking in the village, he saw a family. They're very simple, very poor, very simple, and they're very happy. Their faces are illuminating, their faces are illuminating with happiness. They're very bright. They look very jubilant and radiating happiness. The king was surprised, and then he asked his minister, so I'm the king of this kingdom. I'm so rich and very powerful. I'm not happy. Whereas this family, they are very simple, very poor, but they are so happy. How is that possible? Then the minister said, okay, I'll answer your question, but give me 99 coins, 99 gold coins. Then the king gives him 99 gold coins and keeps them in a bag. The minister keeps the gold coins in a bag and leaves that bag in front of that poor man's house. Then the next morning, the poor man sees that bag of gold coins, picks it up, and then they start counting. They're curious, right? They start counting how many coins are there. They count, it's 99. And then the wife comes. The wife also sees the bag of gold coins, and she also counts 99 only. They're confused. Are we counting correctly or not? And then they count like 10 times, 20 times. No matter how many times they count, it's 99. They start scratching their heads and wondering, where is that 100th coin? Where is that one last coin? Where is that missing? And then the husband goes around, starts searching for that coin everywhere. And then he spends, 6 months, 1 year searching for that coin. And meanwhile, the wife spends some of these coins buying clothes, jewelry, and everything. Okay.
She made it to one.
Maybe. And then the husband is so restless. Wife is also so restless. Now Now the minister brings the king to this family, and now the king is shocked. Seeing this family, they're not happy now. They're so restless. They're always searching for something. They're with anxiety. They're under stress. Then the king asks, "Oh, what happened? What happened to this family? They were very happy 6 months ago, and now they are very, very anxious, and they're not happy at all. What happened?" Then the minister says, "They were happy until they joined this 99 club." The family was happy until they joined 99 club. But as soon as they join 99 club, they're not happy. So we are all part of the 99 club. 99 club. We are always in the 99 club. We are proud to be in 99 club and never happy. We are never happy. So Bhagavad Gita teaches how to become happy. How to become happy and not search for that one missing gold coin. Be happy with whatever you have. Whether you have 1 coin or 2 coins, whatever you have, or even if you don't have anything, you learn how to become happy. So happiness within. Bhagavad Gita teaches how to seek happiness within. So that's another point. Okay, what is Bhagavad Gita? That is another point. It teaches us how to become happy. Fundamentally, it solves the first problem that we discussed during DYS. It addresses the first topic, search for happiness. So we're all searching for happiness in wrong place, and we'll never find that. But when we study Bhagavad Gita, learn Bhagavad Gita, and understand how to seek happiness within, then there is no lamentation. Okay. Now, desires, right? Going back to the point of desire. If the desire is fulfilled, then what happens?
Again, one more day.
One more desire. Yes. If the desire is not fulfilled, you get angry. You'll get angry. So, Jyoti is speaking from experience. Jyoti is speaking from experience. Very good. So, if the desires are fulfilled, then it will lead to lust. Lust means strong desire. A strong desire for more and more objects. You get one object, and then that leads to lust to accumulate more and more objects. If the desire is not fulfilled, then it leads to anger. Okay, so lust, anger, greed. These are the 3 problems that the mind creates. Lust, anger, and greed. LAG, lag. If you remember that, abbreviation lag, LAG, lust, anger, and greed. So if lust is fulfilled, then it leads to greed. Then you want more and more. If lust is not fulfilled, it leads to anger. Lust, anger, and greed. Okay, I think there are some messages on the chart. Let me look at them. Okay, money brought problems. Yeah. Okay, so now Bhagavad Gita teaches how to become happy and also how to control our mind, basically. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches a controlled mind is your friend and an uncontrolled mind is your enemy. Controlled mind is your friend and uncontrolled mind is your enemy. The same mind within you, it can be your friend or it can be your enemy. If it is controlled, it will be your best friend. If it is uncontrolled, it will be your worst enemy. Okay, let's go back to our slides. So before we go to the slides, any points? Anyone want to share? Any questions? So let's do a quick recap. I'm not sharing the screens, right? Let me share the screens. So we discussed the meaning of the word Bhagavad Gita. It's a song of God, song of Bhagavan. And we also discussed what is Bhagavan and what is Bhagavad Gita. It's a life manual, as Mahi mentioned, life manual, law book, someone else mentioned, yoga book and love book. Is Bhagavad Gita a religious book or spiritual book? We discussed this last week. It's a spiritual book. If you don't understand the spirit of what you are doing, we do so many things, right? In the name of pious activities, we do so many things. We do so many rituals. We do so many, fire sacrifices, so many pujas, so many, customs, traditions. But if we don't understand the spirit of why we are doing what we are doing, then it will remain as a ritual. But if you know the reason why we are doing what we are doing, then the same ritual will turn to a spiritual activity. Yeah. So that's a problem in most of the Hindu temples. They don't teach this knowledge. They don't teach why you are doing what you are doing. They don't tell you why you need to come to temple. They don't tell you why you need to worship God. They don't tell you why you need to ring the bell in the temple. They don't tell you why you need to do the fire sacrifice. They don't tell you why you need to, observe some festivals. There's no teaching. Okay, even in the Tirupati temple, which is the richest temple in the world, there's no dharma prachara that's happening. They don't tell anything. It's only ritual. But if you don't understand why you are doing what you are doing, you will not be able to continue that activity for a long time. You will give it up. You will give it up very soon. Because it will look like mechanical activity. You will not have any enthusiasm or motivation to do it, and you will give it up. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita teaches Sanatana Dharma. It's for all people, not only for Indians or Hindus, it's for everyone in the world. And I think this is where we start, right? Which Bhagavad Gita should I read? There are so many different commentaries of Bhagavad Gita in the market. There are probably 1,000 different commentaries on Bhagavad Gita in the market. So which one is genuine and which one to read? Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. And why Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita? That is coming from ISKCON. Why only that Bhagavad Gita? We discussed 3 points. Anubhava Praman. Yeah. So one is this person, philosopher, Robert N. Minor. He's not even Hindu. He does not even belong to ISKCON. He's not even Indian. Some Western philosopher, Robert N. Minor, he did a unbiased study of all Bhagavad Gitas. He took like maybe 100, 200 different commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. And then he did an unbiased study with a comparison. And then he concluded saying that Prabhupada's Gita probably comes closest to the intent of the original author. Original author is Sri Krishna. So Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. He is the original author or speaker of Bhagavad Gita. So Srila Prabhupada's commentary that you see in ISKCON is the closest to the intent of the original author. That's why this Bhagavad Gita has a title, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Okay? Because Srila Prabhupada presented Krishna's message as it is, without any addition or subtraction. There's no adulteration. Just like a mailman, he simply delivers mails into each and every mailbox without addition or deletion. Okay. Now imagine mailman, if he sees an envelope containing dollar bills, and if he takes some dollar bills and puts that in the mailbox, So if you look at that point, right, in this world, the most reliable and genuine profession is mailman. We have been seeing, for several years, right? We have been seeing for the last 40 years, 40, 50 years. Mailman, that's the most genuine profession. most reliable, most trustworthy profession. I mean, we haven't seen too many news saying that mailman, so and so mailman, did this mail theft or something. There are some robbers who did mail theft. Either they broke the mailboxes or opened the mailbox with some duplicate key. We heard of those kind of mail thefts, but at least I have not heard of any incidents where the mailman itself did the theft. So that's why this is the most trustworthy and genuine profession. So we should respect that. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada just delivered Sri Krishna's message as it is, without addition or subtraction. So that was one point. Second point, why Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is most genuine.
Because it is as
Anubhava Praman. That means you can read this Bhagavad Gita and then you can see the results to yourself. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. You can perceive this knowledge by your own direct perception. You can realize this knowledge by your own direct perception. Chapter 9, Shloka 2, Krishna says, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartumavyayam. Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam. Pratyaksha means direct. By your own direct perception. Avagamam means realize. You can realize this knowledge. That means you can verify whether it is true or not. For example, that word, that the shloka, right? Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Krishna says this mind is very unstable. Now we can all watch for it. We can all watch for it. The mind is very unstable. Now, before you read that shloka, you don't know whether mind is stable or unstable. You think mind is perfect. So just like GPS, we discussed the example of GPS, right? Now, when you are going from Bothell to Mount Rainier, so you put first time, let's say you are using the GPS for the first time, and you put Mount Rainier address in GPS, and you start driving. And then after you drive for 2 miles, then the GPS shows, okay, this is exit 128. And the green board there also shows, 128. That means it's matching. So that's the first point of verification. Now, after a few miles, the green board shows exit 195. And the GPS is also showing the same thing. That means you get more confidence on GPS. And then after a while, then you become super confident and you'll believe that this GPS will take you to Mount Rainier. And after that, you will never do this verification every time. Once you do this initial verification, then you are set forever. Next time onwards, you don't verify, is the GPS showing this exit? Is it correct or not? You don't do that cross verification. You will just put the address and then start driving. Similarly, Pratyakshaavagamam, Bhagavad Gita knowledge can be realized. You can have a practical realization of this knowledge by your own direct perception. Okay. And then you can verify whether it is genuine or not. Okay. Okay. Now, who wrote Bhagavad Gita? So we all know Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years ago. But now we are all seeing that in the written form. So the form that you are seeing now is a commentary written by Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. But who wrote the very first version of Bhagavad Gita? Who wrote the very first commentary, not commentary, but the manuscript of Bhagavad Gita? Lord Krishna spoke. Vasudev, yeah. So once Vasudev wanted to write Mahabharatam, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. Bhagavad Gita is part of Bhishma Parva from Mahabharata. Mahabharata contains so many parvas. Parva, you can imagine it like a chapter or canto. No, Bhishma Parva. Yeah. So Vyasadeva wanted to write Mahabharata, and then he asked Brahma, because Brahma is the creator, right? He asked Brahma to help. Who can help me in writing Mahabharata? And then Brahma says, none other than Ganesha, Ganapati, because he is the fastest writer ever in the history. He can write at the speed of mind or at the speed of light. So then Vasudeva approached Ganesha, and then he asked for his help. Will you be able to help me writing Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita? Ganesha agreed, but he put one condition, saying that once you
will not take a break.
Once you start speaking, you should not stop. Then Vasudeva also countered Ganesha. What was the counter?
He said that
You should understand whatever
he should understand first before writing it.
Yeah.
So he used to take some, give some complex instructions, and then Ganesh used to take a take some, and then he used to take some. Yeah. So Ganesha's condition to Vasudeva was that Vasudeva should not stop. Once he starts speaking, he should not stop. And then that's not possible, right? And then Vasudeva put a condition saying that you should not write anything that you don't understand. So like that, with a nice exchange of this, transcendental challenges, they both sat down to write Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. So that's how the first manuscript of Bhagavad Gita was written by Vasudeva and Ganesha. And then later on, that was passed on to different acharyas. We'll see in the next slides, who are the different acharyas who adopted Bhagavad Gita or who studied Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So like that, from Vasudeva, it was passed down to lineage. It was passed down to next generations through a lineage. Okay. So now we understood who has written Bhagavad Gita. Now, who has read Bhagavad Gita? So who has read Bhagavad Gita in this room? If not completely, even part of it. One chapter, one shloka, at least some part of it.
Slokas, complete slokas.
Yeah, some part of it.
Gita Jayanti.
Yeah, some part of it. Okay. So now let's see who has read Bhagavad Gita in. Okay, Shashank also has read Bhagavad Gita. Very good. Okay. So let's see who has read Bhagavad Gita from different times. So acharyas and saintly people, they have read Bhagavad Gita, and the philosophers and politicians, they have read Bhagavad Gita. Modern day people and future people will read Bhagavad Gita. It is forever. It's a timeless wisdom. Even the Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago, we are still speaking about it now. It is timeless wisdom. It's not like Bhagavad Gita was spoken during at the beginning of Kali Yuga. Arjuna's situation was different and our situation is different. We are technologically so much advanced. Probably that Bhagavad Gita, the same Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years ago, may not be applicable now. Some people may have questions like that. But no, this is timeless wisdom. Bhagavad Gita was applicable in the past, it is applicable now in the present, and it will be applicable in the future for all times, eternally. For all times, eternally. Time infinity. Okay, so let's look at some of the people in the current time who are reading Bhagavad Gita. So you can see the first person, he's a business coach. And all of his business training and personality development classes, they're completely based on Bhagavad Gita. His name is Vivek Bindra. He's based out of Mumbai. Vivek Bindra. You can look up later.
Politician,
No, business coach. He's a business coach. He's a
So he gives training to the top executives, even to the CEOs also. C class training. Vivek Bindra.
Yeah, Vivek Bindra came in Kapil Sharma show also
Oh, is it?
with
Okay.
with life coach and
Yeah.
Bindra. Both of them came together like 2-3 weeks back.
Okay.
So watch out that show. It's amazing.
Yeah. He's a very good speaker. He's a very good speaker. So
And both of them,
yeah, all of his teachings are completely based on Bhagavad Gita. And we have Alfred Ford, the Ford owner, the current owner of Ford company, who is the grandson of the initial Ford person. So he's also reading Bhagavad Gita. So he started his spiritual life as a pujari in ISKCON Tirupati. He's a Ford owner. He's such a rich person, but he started his spiritual life as a pujari at ISKCON Tirupati temple. Now, the Ford owner, the second person on the screen here, Ford owner. Yeah, Alfred Ford. His name is Alfred Ford. And politician Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, if you saw her videos, when she was taking the oath during the oath ceremony, right? So she took an oath on Bhagavad Gita here in North Carolina. So she reads Bhagavad Gita. And then we have a scientist, Bhakti Swarupa Damodara Prabhu. So he's a scientist, but he's a scientist turned to monk. So he reads Bhagavad Gita. And we have a life coach. His name is Gaura Gopal Prabhu. So he also. Yeah, he's very famous. Yeah, his lectures are very humorous and very, very thought-provoking. Yeah. Have you seen his lectures? Yeah.
he and Vivek Bindra both came to Kapil Sharma show together.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay, nice.
What's the right coach's name?
Gaura Gopal Das. Gaura Gopal Das. His lectures are very funny, very humorous. He presents Bhagavad Gita in a very, humorous way that it captivates audience attention. And then so many people, are reading Bhagavad Gita in the current times. And these are the set of people who read Bhagavad Gita like 100, 200 years ago, or maybe 50, 100, 200 years ago. Henry David Thoreau, Robert Oppenheimer, Annie Besant, Gandhi, Ralph Waldo Emerson, George Harrison. These are all very famous people. Robert Oppenheimer, the second person on the top, the middle one in the top. Robert Oppenheimer, when he was one of the people, one of the scientists behind the nuclear weapons. He was making nuclear weapons. And when he was making those nuclear weapons, he quoted some shlokas from 11th chapter from Bhagavad Gita. So 11th chapter, where Krishna shows universal form. Krishna tells that with my single fraction, I pervade this entire universe. My single fraction, I pervade this entire universe. That means he maintains this entire universe with a single fraction of his ability. Now, the scientist Oppenheimer, when he read that, so if Krishna is able to maintain this entire universe with a single fraction of his, his power, now what will be his complete power? How to comprehend that? How to imagine that? Now he's making nuclear weapons, right? Which is full of power and everything, energy, power. So he was reciting those shlokas from 11th chapter when he was making nuclear weapons. And Gandhi also mentioned several times. Actually, if you have the Bhagavad Gita copy, so next week I'll bring Bhagavad Gitas actually. Whoever don't have, I'll distribute. You have Telugu? Okay, but better to have English one. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll bring next week. Okay. So if you look at the back cover of Bhagavad Gita, So you will see some testimonials from all these famous people. Gandhi also mentioned, when life throws challenges at me, I take shelter of Bhagavad Gita and I find solace. Oh, you have Basu, you have it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, can you read out louder?
Yes. Mahatma Gandhi said, when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me. And I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day.
Yeah, very good. So there are other testimonials also, right?
Yeah.
Like Henry David Thoreau.
Yeah. David Thoreau says, in the morning I bathe my intellect in the stupendous and cosmogonal philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. In comparison with our modern world and its literature seem puny and trivial.
Yeah. So like that, for example, George Harrison. George Harrison was a great musician in London. Beatles. Have you heard of Beatles?
Yeah.
Beatles music was very famous. In 1950s and 60s, the whole world was very mad about Beatles music. That was a hot topic. The entire world was after Beatles music. Now, such a famous musician, George Harrison, he was very rich and very great musician. So he also read Bhagavad Gita. In fact, he made quite a few albums singing Krishna's kirtans and bhajans. Yeah, like that, all these famous people. So now, if you look back, right? So these are the set of people who are reading Bhagavad Gita in the current times. And these are the set of people who read Bhagavad Gita like 50 or 100 or 200 years ago. And now we have acharyas from 500 or 1000 years ago who have read Bhagavad Gita. Now this shows that Bhagavad Gita is timeless wisdom. This proves the fact that Bhagavad Gita is timeless wisdom. We have a proof of people who read Bhagavad Gita 500 or 1000 years ago. And we have seen some people who read Bhagavad Gita 100 years ago. And we are seeing people who are reading Bhagavad Gita now, all the famous people. Now, when a famous person reads Bhagavad Gita, we take inspiration. If I read Bhagavad Gita or if Basu reads Bhagavad Gita, now rest of the world may not take it very seriously. But if George Harrison reads Bhagavad Gita, Mahatma Gandhi reads Bhagavad Gita, or the Ford owner, such a rich person who reads Bhagavad Gita, then we take it seriously. We take inspiration from that. Generally, people think that spirituality or reading Bhagavad Gita, reading any scriptures, you only do that when you don't have anything else to do. Right? You go to temple when you don't have anything else to do. Or you read Bhagavad Gita when you don't have any other thing to do. No, that's not true. Now look at all these famous people. They were so busy. Mahatma Gandhi, he was so busy in fighting for the freedom for the nation. And George Harrison, such a great musician, very busy, very rich person. And the current person, Alfred Ford, is such a famous, business person. He's reading Bhagavad Gita. It's not like they're poor or they're faced with so many problems in life. That's why they are reading Bhagavad Gita. They don't have anything else to do. It's not like that. So these are the prominent acharyas from different sampradayas. Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya from Sri Sampradaya, and Madhvacharya from Madhva Sampradaya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, which is the Sampradaya that ISKCON follows. So all these great spiritual leaders are the gurus. They have also accepted Bhagavad Gita.
Which is Sampradaya?
Adi Shankaracharya, see, there are 4 sampradayas, right? We discussed during DYS time. So, no, not Brahma. Rudra Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, and then
Madhva Sampradaya. Yeah. So these are all Vaishnava Sampradayas. So Adi Shankaracharya, he does not belong to any of these four Sampradayas. So he started teaching, he's an incarnation of Lord Shiva only. He started teaching impersonalism. He started teaching Advaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy means Advaita. Dvaita means two identities. So what are the two identities? Soul and God. Jivatma and Paramatma. These are the two different identities. Adi Shankaracharya teaches Advaita, which means there are no two different identities. It's only one. There's no difference between God and us. When we achieve liberation, we become God. We become God. Or we merge into God. That Brahman effulgence, we go and merge into God. So that is Advaita philosophy. That means you lose your identity and you merge into the identity of God. And the opposite of Advaita is Dvaita. Dvaita means two different identities. Soul and super soul are different. Jivatma, Paramatma, they are different identities. When we achieve liberation, moksha, or when we achieve perfection in life, we don't go and merge with God. We go and serve God. You can go to Vaikuntha, or you can go to Ayodhya Loka, or you can go to Goloka Vrindavana. You can go to different spiritual planets and serve the God that you worship. If somebody worships Narayana or Vishnu or Balaji, right? Venkateshwar Swami, they can go to Vaikuntha planet. And they serve different Vishnu forms as a servant. Now, if somebody worships Rama, they can go to Ayodhya Loka and then serve Lord Rama as a servant. Just like how Hanuman served Lord Rama, we can be serving Lord Rama in Dasya form. And if somebody worships Krishna, they can go to Goloka Vrindavana. Okay. So Adi Shankaracharya, so initially he started teaching Advaita philosophy, but then later on, towards the end of his life, he realized, saying that Advaita philosophy is not correct, Dvaita philosophy is correct, and then he wrote Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. He himself said, he wrote that shloka, right? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Mudamate. He said Bhaja Govinda means, Bhaja means worship. Govinda is Krishna. You worship Krishna. So towards the end of life, Adi Shankaracharya said, you worship Krishna. But then later on, his disciples, so they went back to his initial teachings of Advaita philosophy. And that's why even till today, you see the Acharyas or disciples coming from Adi Shankaracharya lineage, they are still teaching Advaita philosophy only. They are teaching impersonalism. That means God has no form, no qualities. And when we achieve liberation, we go and merge into God. Okay, that is not correct. So all these acharyas, they have accepted Bhagavad Gita. Gandhi has read Bhagavad Gita. So what's the time? 12:30. Yeah, still have time. So now who can read Bhagavad Gita? What's the qualification to read Bhagavad Gita? Or is there a qualification to read Bhagavad Gita? So let's get some participation from online. Otherwise, they can be sleeping, right? They can be sleeping.
There's a hand up.
Huh?
Shashank has his hand up.
Shashank raised his hand because we asked, right, who read Bhagavad Gita?
Oh, okay.
So his hand is up since then. Shashank, you might be hurting your hand. You can bring it down.
No, I kept it on thinking that nobody will realize I am sleeping.
Good one.
We were on the beach. Yeah,
Yeah, he's in Hawaii. He's having good time. Yeah. Okay. So what's the qualification to read Bhagavad Gita? Ashish or Pavan, Harshani?
It just needs the intention. That's it.
It's just the intention. Okay, very good.
I believe whosoever wants to,
Connected to God.
Okay, if you have a desire to connect to God. Okay, very good. Power,
I would say whoever wants to know himself.
whoever wants to know themselves. That is Shashank. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Now,
So
Pawan,
whoever want answers, what is life, how to lead life.
okay, whoever want answers, how to lead good life. Okay, very good. Yeah,
Basically, to know yourself. Like,
just to know yourself. Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, anything else? Hmm?
Solutions.
To get solutions to problems in life. Huh? Okay. Yeah.
To know what is real problem.
To know what is real problem. Yeah. To know what is real problem. Every day we are dealing with relative problems. You know, the Microsoft tech layoff, all these things, there are relative problems. Because these problems, they exist today and they may not exist tomorrow. So relative problems, we don't need to strive much to solve them. Even if you try to solve them, they may not go away. Okay. But the real problems we need to solve. So yeah, these are all answers. Whatever everyone has said so far. These are all answers to the first question, right? What is Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah.
But who can read Bhagavad Gita? Anyone who can read. Qualification. Anyone who can read. Very good. Anyone who can read.
No, you can listen to audiobooks.
In fact, that's
No need to read. No need to read. Listening is sufficient.
yeah. Ashish is saying no need to read. Vasu also said the same thing.
Yeah,
Just hear, simply hear.
yeah, curiosity.
Curiosity to know who is God. Yeah. So, who can read? You know, some people say, right?
We can know what is the life after death.
Yeah. Yeah. So some people, you know, if you ask them to read Bhagavad Gita, right, they'll say, "Oh no, I'm not so qualified to read Bhagavad Gita. I'm not pure. You know, I'm not ready." They come up with so many excuses. When Krishnaji calls, then I'll come. Then I'll read. But Krishnaji is already calling you. You know, Bhagavad Gita. He has written Bhagavad Gita for you to read. There's no point of Krishna coming to your home and putting a bottu on your forehead. Asking to read. The invitation is already open.
My son is 11. And last week he came to me saying that whichever hotel you go to, every room has a Bible.
Yeah.
Muslims also go to their worship place.
Yeah.
Why don't we read our book? And then I ordered Bhagavad Gita and he's reading 20 pages every day and he's giving me Gyan. That's why I came and joined this, because I need to have Gyan knowledge before, when he's discussing those stuff with me. So it is all intention. If a 11-year-old kid can do it, then, anybody can do it.
Very good. Very good. He deserves a big round of applause. So is your son with you now? Can you show him on the video?
Yeah, he just went up. I think restroom. I'll call him in a minute or so.
Yeah. So he deserves some appreciation. So excellent. See, kids are very inspiring. Yeah. See, Samet is very, very inspiring. He's attentively listening. He doesn't speak much, so we tend to think that he doesn't know anything. But no, everything is going into his mind. Yeah. So silent listeners are the best listeners. Yeah, they catch every point. So, yeah, kids are so inspiring. So now there's no qualification to read Bhagavad Gita. Everybody can read. As Aman said, everybody who can read, they can read Bhagavad Gita. And people who cannot read, they can hear Bhagavad Gita. That's also a form of reading. So there was a poor Brahmana, illiterate Brahmana, 500 years ago, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was visiting some places in South India. So once he came to Srirangam, and then he saw an old illiterate Brahmana standing in front of the temple and holding Bhagavad Gita upside down. He's illiterate, right? So he does not know whether the alphabets are in the correct order or upside down. He does not know. He does not have the sense of the alphabets. So he was holding upside down, and then he was, he was weeping. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at this Brahmana and asked him, why are you weeping? Then the Brahmana said, my spiritual master gave me an instruction to read Bhagavad Gita every day, and I'm reading it. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got confused. He said, you said you are reading Bhagavad Gita, but you are holding it upside down. So probably you are making a show of it. Then that old Brahmana said, because I'm illiterate, I don't have sense of alphabets. That's why I don't know whether the alphabets are upside down or in the correct order. But the very moment I look at the cover page of Bhagavad Gita, show that to everyone, Basu, the cover page. But the moment I see Krishna, who is Bhagavan, who is ready to, he's a supreme personality of Godhead, but he's ready to serve his devotees in a menial position as a chariot driver. Now, if you look at that picture, right, Krishna is acting as a chariot driver, which is a very menial position. It's like a cab driver or rickshaw driver. And Arjuna is sitting on the chariot. And Krishna is not there for fighting. Because before the war began only, Krishna said, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to touch a weapon. So Krishna did not come to the battlefield to fight or to help Arjuna to, to fight the battle. He just came to ride the chariot. Now, such an opulent person, Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was ready to act as a driver, chariot driver for his devotees. So when I look at that Brahmana said, when I look at that picture of my Lord serving devotees in a menial position, that brings me tears. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita, to the perfect degree. So even though a person is illiterate, they can hear Bhagavad Gita and understand it. So in one sense, everybody can read Bhagavad Gita. Illiterate, literate, everybody can read and hear Bhagavad Gita. Now, the only qualification that we should have to read Bhagavad Gita is the enthusiasm. The enthusiasm to read Bhagavad Gita. Now, that enthusiasm will be high in the beginning. In the beginning, when you hear the shlokas for the first time, when you hear, when you see these presentations for the first time, or when you start serving in the temple for the first time, initial stages, when you start coming to the temple initially, everything will be very new and you'll have new enthusiasm. But if you are able to maintain that enthusiasm with steadfastness over a period of time, then you can understand Bhagavad Gita very nicely and you can achieve perfection. So that's the only qualification needed. Enthusiasm, determination. Okay. Let's go back to our slides. And you can read Bhagavad Gita anytime. Time, place, circumstances do not matter. You can read it at home, you can read it at temple, you can read it at workplace, you can read it in the train, car, bus, flight, anywhere. Even if a person is not clean, if they have not taken shower that day, they can read Bhagavad Gita. So time, place, circumstances do not matter. Only your enthusiasm and determination matters. Okay, why should we read Bhagavad Gita? That we all discussed in great detail. So what's the real purpose of Gita? That also we discussed. Real purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to know our true nature. To know our true nature. So all these things like life manual, all these things are okay. Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to lead a good life. But more important than that, Bhagavad Gita also teaches how to get out of this life, how to get out of this material world. It teaches how to live happily in this world. It also teaches how to get out of this world, art of living and art of dying, both. So the real purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to know our true nature. Our true nature is spiritual. We are not this body, but we are spirit soul. So that's the real purpose of Bhagavad Gita. So to know our original identity, spiritual nature, saying that we are the soul, we are the eternal soul, and not this temporary body. So this is some analogy given here, just like to know the purpose of any object like a phone, you refer to the manual. Okay. If you don't refer to the manual, you may be able to use some features of it, but you are not aware of all the features of the object. You don't make the best use of the object. But if you refer to the manual, then you become familiar with all the details of the object, and you can make best use of it. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is a life manual for this life. If you read Bhagavad Gita, you can make the best use of this life. Human life has a great potential. Human life has a great potential to achieve perfection in one life and go back to God. We don't need 100 lifetimes to achieve perfection. In one lifetime, we can achieve perfection in Bhakti Yoga and go back to spiritual world. That's the great potential of human life. So, and we can leverage that potential only if we read Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we don't know. Bhagavad Gita is not just for Arjuna, but it's for everyone. It's for everyone in every corner of the universe. Bhagavad Gita, it answers many questions in our life. So you might have heard, right? When somebody is in trouble, if they open Bhagavad Gita, it automatically you'll get answers. So, and it's very true actually. It may sound unreasonable to say that the moment you open Bhagavad Gita, you will find answers to the problems that you are facing in the current moment. It may sound unreasonable, illogical, but it is true actually. If you if you open Bhagavad Gita with a sincere desire to find solution, you will actually find solution. You will be directed to that particular shloka where you will find solution to the problem that you are facing. Even Jesus Christ said, right? Seek and you shall find. Seek and you shall find. So if you seek with sincerity, then you shall find answers in Bhagavad Gita. And it solves many problems in life. It solves his problems also. It supports our it supports different kinds of faith that we have in terms of the religion, tradition, or customs that we have been following from time to time. The only difference is it reveals the reason behind those rituals or customs or traditions that we have been doing. Bhagavad Gita does not deny the rituals that we have been following, like all the samskaras, right? Like for example, Annaprasana, Aksharabhyasa, all these samskaras. Bhagavad Gita does not deny these samskaras. Fire sacrifice, homam, yajnas. Bhagavad Gita does not deny any of these rituals. It supports all those rituals and customs and traditions. But the difference is
one day we will think about Bhagavad Gita. Without doing all these things, nobody can come to know. They don't want to know about Bhagavad Gita. Slowly, they will show interest.
No, you can read Bhagavad Gita without doing any of those activities. Like all the Western people,
Yeah.
like when Prabhupada came to New York, he converted so many Western people into devotees. And before that, they never did any fire sacrifices. They never performed those rituals, but they became devotees. Yeah. But if somebody has been following some rituals, traditions, or customs, or some samskaras, Bhagavad Gita supports those activities, and it clarifies or it gives a reasoning why we should do those samskaras, why we should perform those activities. So Bhagavad Gita, it supports by giving knowledge why we should perform those activities. Okay, and Bhagavad Gita, the fourth point, Bhagavad Gita nurtures. Bhagavad Gita nurtures like a mother. Bhagavad Gita nurtures everyone, just like a mother nurtures the child. So how does the mother nurture the child? By giving milk, by feeding food, by taking care of the child needs. Mother nurtures the child. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita nurtures everyone. We are all children of Krishna. Krishna is Bhagavan. He is our supreme father. And we are all his children. So that Krishna, as a supreme father, is nurturing all of us, the children of him. And it motivates us to do things in life. Sometimes we can become lethargic, lazy, we can become lethargic, we can become morose. For example, they say, right, smashana vairagyam. How many of you heard smashana vairagyam? Even in Hindi, they call it as samshan vairagya. Samshan vairagya. Yeah, samshan vairagya. Do you know what is that? Yeah.
Many people living in Samshan, they don't have any attachment to them.
Yeah. So the first shock that a person gets in life is when they go to cemetery ground, smashan. So until the point a person goes to the cremation grounds, even though they might be hearing that so and so person has passed away, his friend's father has passed away, or someone else has passed away. They might be hearing so many people, they might be seeing so many people dying, they might be reading so much of news saying that so many people have died. But until the point they go to the smashan and see the bodies being cremated or burnt, they don't get a shock. And just yesterday only, actually today morning, my friend called, he was living here. His father passed away. So he went to India for 2 weeks to perform all the final rites. And then he called me today and he was sharing his experience, saying that, I was thinking of so many philosophical thoughts, when I was in the cremation grounds. Life seemed so much different now. So he was telling, all these experiences. This is Smashan Vairag. That means when you go to Smashan and see the dead body being cremated, being burnt, you get some kind of renunciation, detachment, thinking that, oh, no matter how much successful life I lead, no matter how much powerful I am, no matter how much money I have, no matter how many assets, how many family members I have, in the end, nobody is coming with me. In the end, I'm not carrying anything with me. So you see that with your own eyes and get some kind of renunciation, detachment feeling. So, and then if you come back to normal life and continue with the same lethargy and same detachment, moroseness, that's not good. It's good to have that smashan vairag for some time. But if you continue that and not do anything, then that's not good. If you become lethargic, then that's not good. That's why Bhagavad Gita motivates. It motivates us to do things in life. Renunciation means not to reject everything and then just lead a sannyasi life. So renunciation means avoiding attachment. Use everything for the service of God, but you should not be attached to anything. You do not reject anything. You use everything for the service of God. Okay. So, yeah, you should not be attached to the results. So it motivates us. Gita is a love letter to all of us from Krishna. We discussed this last week. Why Bhagavad Gita is a love book. Okay. Because Krishna loves us so much. Every shloka that Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita, it's like a love letter for all of us. Gita takes us from confusion to clarity. Yeah, every day we are bombarded with confusion. So it gives so much clarity. Okay, now question time. What will one experience after reading Bhagavad Gita? So this is called Phala Shruti, right? You know, see, whenever you're asked to do something, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Achievement or
Achievement, huh? Result. So what is there for me? What will I get if I do this? What will I get? So if you ask Gitu, Gitu, can you go to a neighbor's home and get something? Imagine Gitu is only like 2 years or 3 years old. Gitu will ask, what is there for me?
Yeah.
Now you will say, okay, I'll give you a candy or cookie or something. Okay. So like that, every task before we do anything, the first thing that comes to our mind is, what is the benefit for me? What do I get if I do this task? What do I get? Similarly, what will we get after reading Bhagavad Gita? What's the experience? What will we experience after reading Bhagavad Gita? Any thoughts? Renunciation? Sudhakar? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Jnanam? Okay. Yeah. Jnanam. Clarity. Okay.
How to lead the life simple.
Okay. In one word. Just put your answer in one word. Huh? Happiness. Okay. Very good. What did you say? Liberation. Okay.
Jyoti always wants liberation.
Liberation.
One second liberation.
Yeah.
I don't know, Prabhu. I think I figured out after I read. But during reading Bhagavad Gita, I experienced some satisfaction of reading and satisfaction of
Prasadam.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Prasadam.
I figured out what I experienced after I read this.
Yeah. Prasadam. Yes. Yeah, that's true. We haven't read so far, right? Yeah, we haven't
I
read.
did the DYS class, I know it.
Yeah.
But I really need to read this.
Yeah.
Because all these people have said, like Mahatma Gandhi has said this, all of these people, right?
Yeah.
If they have experienced that,
Yeah.
I should experience something which is like they were already learned people.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that learned.
Yeah.
If they can experience that much, I
Yeah.
got to experience something which is way sum of all of what everybody says plus more.
Yeah.
It is how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. If Mahatma Gandhi has experienced something,
Yeah.
if Henry David Thoreau, George Harrison, or Alfred Ford, if they have achieved something after reading Bhagavad Gita, then we should be able to achieve the same thing. We are no different from them. Yeah.
I'm saying I'm way smaller than them.
Yeah.
So if they can experience that much, I can experience what I experience should be 1,000 times what they experience. To me, at my level. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Kumar? Bharti? My mother's name is Bharti. Or what are your expectations? Okay. So because we have not read, we don't know what we will experience.
Yeah.
But what are your expectations? Happiness, as Varsha said, that's one good point.
Developing devotion.
Developing devotion. Okay. Very good. Stable mind. Okay. How to control mind. Yeah. Sthita prajna state. Yeah. Wow.
Jyoti is becoming philosophical. She's talking Shastric words. Yeah. So online, some participation from online. Ashish, is your son here?
Yeah, he's there.
Okay, yeah, show us on the video. Yeah. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Siddharth.
Siddharth. Wow. Okay, I'll tell you a small story about the other Siddharth. I'll tell a small story about the other Siddharth. Before I tell the story, so your dad told us that you inspired your dad to read Bhagavad Gita. Is that true?
Yeah, I started reading it.
So yeah, can you tell what was your observation and what did you tell your dad? I want to hear from your own words.
So far, I've just been learning about like Brahman and Atman, like Godhead and the self, and matter and matter. And the Gita, able to use the learnings to like get out of the material area and go into like a spiritual sense.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's all I've learned so far. I'm not done with it.
Yeah.
He's just started it. So he started it. He's reading 20 pages a day. And every day, whatever he learns, he talks about that.
Very good.
So maybe one day he'll be able to walk through a chapter for you.
Yeah. Excellent. So Siddharth, right? Yeah. Siddharth, we really appreciate your enthusiasm to read Bhagavad Gita, and you inspired your dad as well to read Bhagavad Gita. So you deserve a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Great job. So keep continuing reading Bhagavad Gita and keep continuing inspiring your dad and your friends, everyone. So now let me tell you that small story of Siddharth. Do you know the other Siddharth in the history?
Buddha.
Yeah, Buddha. Yeah, very good. Wow, you are a learned boy. You are a learned boy. You are a learned boy. I wanted to say learned man, but you are not a man yet. Learned boy. Very good. You are accomplished. So do you know that story of Siddharth, how he became curious about spirituality?
Yeah, I think it was like there was a war and he saw all the people dying and he decided to go into the forest until either he died or world peace came.
Yeah, there are different incidents that led Siddharth to take up to spirituality. One was, Siddharth's parents, they wanted to raise him very comfortably, and they don't want to expose him to the calamities of this material world. So they gave him a nice space and all the comforts that he needed. They arranged everything that he needed, and they never let him go outside the home, because the moment he steps outside the home, he will see all the problems in the life, and he may be discouraged or he may not feel good about those. So the parents were pampering him like that and raising him like a cage in the bird, right? Cage in a golden bird in the golden cage. But one fine day, he stepped out. He stepped out with his with one of the servants. Okay, and then as they were walking around, he saw a person who was coughing so much. And then Siddhartha asked the servant, why is he coughing so much? What is this? And then the servant said, he's suffering through some disease. And then after a while, they saw another man who was not able to walk properly. He was very old and he was not able to walk properly. And then Siddhartha asked, why is this person not able to walk properly? And the servant said, because he's old. So old age problem. And then after some time, they saw a person
lying down on a small piece of bed, and 4 people carrying him. And then Siddhartha asked the servant, why are they carrying him? And then the servant replied saying that he's dead. That's why all these 4 people, they are carrying him to the cremation ground. So then Siddhartha asked, oh, do people die? Until then, he did not know that people die, people go through the old age, people go experience diseases, is not aware of all these problems. But the moment he saw all these problems, then he became curious, and then he wanted to meditate and experience nirvana, bliss, and he took up to spirituality. So very good. The point that you just mentioned, right? To get out of the material world and get a spiritual perspective, we need to read Bhagavad Gita. So you were speaking just like the other Siddhartha. Very good. Keep it up.
Meditation also, he's waking up at 5 o'clock, taking bath, trying to get a cold water shower. Now
Really?
I am still scared.
Wow.
Whatever he is,
Amazing.
whatever he's trying, I'm trying with him.
So what grade are you in, Siddharth?
6th.
6th grade? Wow. Good, good. So Ashish, where do you live now? Redmond?
Redmond Ridge.
Okay, yeah, you said Redmond, right? Yeah, you should bring him to this in-person class once.
Yeah, we will
Inspire all of
come.
us and inspire all of us.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, now going back to our discussion. It's already 1 o'clock. We'll wrap up in 5 minutes. Yeah, what will we experience after reading Bhagavad Gita, or what are your expectations? So happiness, very good one. And someone else said something, right? Stable mind. Okay.
Overcome suffering.
Huh?
Suffering.
Okay, overcome suffering. Okay. Yeah. So you will experience.
Hold on your emotions.
Hold on to your emotions.
Yeah.
So what do you mean?
Controlling your emotions, basically. Controlling your emotions.
Controlling your emotions. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Controlling your mind, controlling your emotions. Yeah. So
Peace.
who said that?
Me.
Shashank. Very good. So
Yeah.
looks like when all else fails, you go to Shashank. Very good. Very good, Shashank. Peace.
Thank you.
So you experience peace. Happiness is correct, but in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, without peace, you cannot be happy. There is sloka in 2nd chapter. He says, without he gives a progressive process of achieving happiness. So 1 step before happiness is peace. Yeah. So peace. We'll experience peace after reading Bhagavad Gita, because it will answer a lot of questions in your life. A lot of things will become clear. Bhagavad Gita will put a perspective to so many things in your life. Now we all have bits and pieces of information about spirituality, and bits and pieces of information about religion, bits and pieces of information about our life itself. So Bhagavad Gita puts a perspective to all these things. It connects all the dots, puts a perspective to all these things, answers so many questions, and you'll achieve so much peace. You'll achieve so much peace. Even after reading few chapters, in the beginning itself, you will practically experience this, that you become so calm, so peaceful. You'll experience that. Very soon you'll experience that. Okay. So I think we'll stop here. I have more slides, but we'll continue in the next week. So before we wrap up, any questions, comments, reflections from anyone?
Quick question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So would it be the format will be like this, or would you switch to reading from the book?
Yeah, no, we'll start reading from book. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please look.
So he also had the same point, are you going to start reading slokas from today?
Okay.
So she was also very curious about reading slokas.
Okay.
Yeah. So after this introduction will go on for a couple of sessions like this.
Okay.
And then because we are building up the momentum, we are building up the curiosity and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And then once you are all ready, then we'll start reading slokas.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking is today I forgot the book, so I went back and came. So I
See, that shows your sincerity. Even though you are not reading the book, but that sincerity goes long way. Yeah. So very good, very good. You're a good student, also. You're top student.
I want to be good, not top.
Okay. Okay, online people, any questions, comments, reflections?
It was engaging session. Thank you, Srinivas.
Yeah, thank you. Active participation is what we need. So because I learned something from you and you learned something from me. So that's how we take this forward class. Yeah. Okay. If nothing else, then we conclude the call here. Thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.